Hello, hello, my food mood friends. Welcome back. Chandra's Zen Odyssey, food and mood, body mind coaching. I added in a little new tagline to my brand. It's I like it. Body mind, food and mood coaching. It's the mind and the body and the gut and the brain are so connected. It's really powerful, which brings me actually to the topic of emotions matter. And to tie it into my branding, the root of all disease is our emotions.
Welcome! Here is your hostess and coach, Chandra Zas, helping people make food and mood changes doable without missing out. Go ahead, high five that like button, subscribe and share while you're there.
So our food really matters. And our food really matters. I actually did mean to say that, but what I actually meant to say is that our emotions really matter. Both, like if you talk to a Western doctor, or if you study Western medicine, you will find, like I did when I was 15 with my doctor, that diet, stress, and lifestyle are the root cause of all disease. And Western medicine, the doctors, I have several really good Western medicine doctor friends who all went into medicine to help people. But what happens in med school is that they are educated and funded by like the whole method, the whole toolbox that they're given to help us is pharmaceuticals and procedures and surgeries. They're not actually given the tools and even legally allowed to really like actually give us the tools to prevent and heal disease. And when I was 15 trying to get off meds, and my doctor was like, well, you're just gonna have to be on these for the rest of your life. I had severe eczema and asthma. And the solution was pharmaceuticals. I had a inhaler, and I had cortisol shots, and I had creams. I had lifetime prescription for medication that I just knew at 15 that I did not want that. And I pushed my doctor and I was like, well, what else can I do? And as he kind of shuffled me out of the office, he said, well, diet, stress, and lifestyle. And that really made an imprint on me. And it made me start looking of like, well, what did that mean? And when my friend shortly after dared me to be vegan, I took the dare. She was an animal rights person, or like she really cared about animal rights. I lived in a small town. There was no vegan alternative. So I just ate fruits and vegetables pretty much for 2 weeks. And day 10, I woke up and I didn't have pain in my head. I could see colors. I didn't feel bloated. Like I just remember that morning waking up in my house, my parents' house, and being like, what just happened? I want more of this. And that was for me really the beginning of understanding the diet piece, the food piece. Like if me changing my diet for that 10 days could make such a difference in how I felt, like what else could I do to really feel that much better? So food is like the diet piece, and stress is the emotional piece. So the way that I have come to, and this is a article that I wrote a couple of years ago called Emotions Matter, and I tweaked it and edited it a tiny bit, not much. But it's one of the foundational pieces of my program is like the food we eat matters and the emotions that we feel matter, and our relationship to each of them really, really matter. So our emotions, our feelings, they are what drive us. They are what motivate us, our wants, our desires, what we care for, what we dislike. Our emotions, whether it's like laziness or motivated or focused or confused, like these are all emotions. And those emotions determine how we show up, whether we do something or whether we don't do something, or whether we eat the food that we want to eat or we keep going back to our old habits. Like our emotions are...
Hello, my friend. How are you? I'm in the Dead Sea floating in the water. Go ahead and like and share and follow so we can keep in touch.
I like to think of it like the energy source for how we actually show up in our day, whether we show up or we don't show up, or whether we self-sabotage or whether we choose the option that serves our future self. Our emotions are the root of it all. It's not the root, because actually the root is our thoughts. Our thoughts create our feelings, and our feelings and our emotions like create our habits, create how we're showing up in our life. And so paying attention and learning about our emotions really makes a difference in our ability to. So a lot of people, you try to make habit changes, like diet, stress, lifestyle changes by like force and willpower. They just like white knuckle it. They just go, they force themselves. They restrict, they use willpower. And it's really hard to stick to that. It's exhausting to stick to that. The way to actually create sustainable lifelong habit changes is creating desires, cultivating that want desire for the long-term good benefits that we want, the having energy, weighing a certain amount, exercising a certain amount and keeping our body in good shape, or even our relationship with water, drinking enough water to keep our bodies hydrated. These simple, basic things that make all the difference in our health and our quality of life. They begin with how we're feeling about it. Like a lot of people, they dread exercise. If you dread exercise, you're not going to exercise. If you remember how good it feels to work out and you want to feel that good in your body, like you want to feel your muscles strong and you want to like easily sit in a chair and you want to be able to sit on the ground with your grandkids. Like if you think about those positive effects and you keep those in your mind, you're going to feel more motivated to go through the discomforts of, especially in the beginning, working out is uncomfortable, or even making food changes. In the beginning, it's really uncomfortable to make those food changes. You have to put extra energy, which our brain doesn't like to do, put extra energy into finding some new recipes, creating a different shopping list, learning how to cook differently. Like our brain's like averted to all that. It's uncomfortable. It's like unfamiliar, unknown, risky, just go back to being the same. But like if we get through that discomfort of those changes and we stay connected to the end result, what we're really wanting, we build and create that want and that desire for that, then that's where the effortless change happens. The habit changes happen because we're desiring for our future self, for the results, the outcomes, the goals that we're wanting. So our emotions are essential to habit change. Our emotions are the fuel for our habit change, either staying the same or doing something different. That is like it's the meat of it all. And there is our relationship to our emotions. So most of us are taught at a young age to suck it up, to don't cry, don't make so-and-so feel bad. Children should be seen and not heard. Like there's a lot of beliefs that we have culturally in our families, in our cultures, that send us the strong signals to stuff our emotions inside, or if you're sad, go eat something, or many people, that's how they comfort themselves, is with food, or they comfort their kids, or we pacify our kids. They have a lot of energy and they have all this, so we just give them food to distract them and have them eat food so that that's where their attention goes. But it doesn't, it's a short-term solution that creates a lifelong of sabotaging habits. So one of the other really big keys to really understanding how much our emotions matter is that we have a relationship to our emotions. And so we can have an emotion arise like sadness or even grief, and we can have the default reaction, which is to like avoid it, suppress it, ignore it, which then what we do is we turn towards buffering habits. We turn to things that help us distract ourselves or pacify ourselves from our emotions. So we scroll, we watch TV, we eat food, we drink, we smoke, we do things that give us a in the moment short-term dopamine hit. We feel good, we comfort ourselves from that uncomfortable emotion, but that emotion doesn't go away. And in the meantime, we're doing a habit that's actually harming our health or disconnecting us from the present moment or making our life small. So there's a way that we can be in relationship to our emotions where we allow and feel our emotions. We grow our capacity to feel the uncomfortable 50% of life instead of using outside things to make us feel better for the moment that doesn't actually solve our emotion, and in the meantime just like harms our health. So it's two pieces. One is like really understanding how important emotions are, and then understanding how to be in relationship with them that serves us instead of sabotages us. So learning how to feel your feelings and lean in and embrace and become emotionally resilient and be able to move through hard moments with presence and grace and acceptance. You know, we like to think, we unconsciously think that life should be easy or happy 80% of the time, but it's just not the reality. Like, life is hard and uncomfortable and not what we want 50% of the time. And the more we can accept that reality instead of expect it to be better or easier, and we can allow life to be what it is, then life actually starts to feel easier because we're not thinking that something has gone wrong when we're not happy and it's not easy 80% of the time. So there's a way to be in relationship to our life, to the hard moments of life that create the uncomfortable emotions. And so being in relationship with our emotions about life, it's a game changer. It's like getting the keys to the universe. It's like understanding how we can move through life in a much more graceful way. And it's not necessarily easier. There's still hard parts of life, but it's much more, it's like the difference of feeling like life is happening to you versus feeling like life is happening and we have a choice in how we flow through it. It's not that we're necessarily going to control anything external, but we can choose how to respond internally to our emotions, to our mind, to life's events that are maybe not always what we want them to be, but it's life. Yeah. So emotions matter. I'd encourage you to read the text that goes with this video. Also, go to my blog and check out this Emotions Matters post, or wherever you're seeing this or listening to this. Head over to my blog. It's looking beautiful these days. I just got a total site redo and it's looking fresh and much more like me. And so go check it out. And I have a ton of content there. I highly recommend you go through. I've been going through all of my blog posts for the last few years, and there's a lot of incredible content there. So I know there's a lot of you reaching out to me and wanting to work with me and not feeling like you really can't quite afford it at the moment for whatever reasons. I really encourage you. I have so much free content that if you go through and you watch my videos and you take my free courses, there's so much there for you. And if you really spend the time and energy to apply what I'm teaching and what I'm sharing with you in these videos, you can start to make some really good progress on your own. So if that's you, I really encourage you to spend some more time on my website and in my free courses. And the 14-day food challenge is really good. The 14-day food challenge is not currently on my website. If you do want access to that, go to my app. If you go to Zen Odyssey, you can go to Google or Apple Store, search Zen Odyssey, download my app. And in there's a number of free courses. And one of them is the 14-day food challenge that will reset your gut microbiome, help you reset your taste buds. It's a really, really good course. There's a lot of free content, both on my website and on my app. I really encourage you to go check them out. There's recipe sections in both of them. And yeah, if you have any requests for content to create or any questions you have to ask and want me to answer, I would be honored. So please type them below or send me an email, Chandra@ZenOdyssey. And I wish you all the best, and I'll see you next week. Thank you.